All right, welcome Block athletes. My name's Dr. Kevin from Paradigm Physical Therapy. This is Stacy. 24.1 was just announced. So it's a bunch of dumbbell snatches and burpees. What I'm thinking in my mind is low back. That guy's gonna be smoked during this. It's high volume. We also know that you can only use one arm at a certain time for the whole time. So number one we're gonna work on is unlocking that shoulder mobility. So the first thing we're gonna do, grab a green band, come underneath it like so. The hip that's on the same side, that needs to come back. You're gonna turn the hands facing up. What I want you to focus on here is don't let this rib cage flare. So flare the rib cage for me. Don't flare, keep that nice and tucked. I want you to make sure all the tension is right here in the shoulders, and then work on turning that shoulder in and out and really try to fight for all those tight corners to make sure that we can get up to that snatch position. The last thing we wanna do is get no rep at the top. So make sure that guy's going up, palms facing up. You can also get a little bit of hip flexor here, so keep that guy nice and tall. And to hang out there, give me 5 deep breaths. On every exhale, we're gonna go further into that stretch. So make sure you have a nice tension on that band. It goes up overhead. Good, and you're gonna go further and further. And you're trying to fight for that more and more range of motion, because the last thing you wanna do is come up here and have that rib cage flare where the low back starts to get smoked. So you wanna keep this guy nice and stacked and go up overhead. Good. Okay, now that the shoulder is unlocked and open from that band, we want to make sure that we get that activation. Every activation we do should look very similar to the movements that we're doing. So what Stacy's going to do here is put the band on the opposite foot, grab with the opposite hand. We're going to hinge at our hips a little bit. We're going to come up into that pull and then coming up overhead and coming back down. Good. Give me 10 of those. Remember to initiate a lot of that movement through the hip. And then remember to pull up with that elbow and then turn over at the top for that snatch position. Good, keep going, breathe. Couple things to look out for. You do not want to come to the top and again extend through that back. Keep that rib cage stacked. That rib cage stacked, and let that elbow or the shoulder just kind of go up on its own. Keep going. We're going to do about 10 of these on each arm. We're going to do a lot of reps. At that volume, your shoulder is going to get taxed. You have to finish all those reps on that one side first. Good, and switch sides. Other hand, other foot, there you go. Same concept here. Again, once we've unlocked that shoulder, we should be able to activate it through the band. We're mimicking that movement of the snatch. Perfect. Make sure you keep that rib cage stacked. Do not arch in that low back. Perfect. So next one here. So when doing the dumbbell snatches, the biggest problem when people come down and grab it is they're lacking a lot of the hip flexion. When the hip can't flex anymore, the back has to start to round, and then you're grabbing that dumbbell under load, and this back starts to do all this extra work without that hip. So what we want to do with this band here is we want to try to unlock the hip flexion so we can come down into this position while the back stays flat. So Stacy, go put a band around your leg. Good. And we want to bring this foot forward because now we're biasing in more flexion on that side. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of sink back into that hip joint as far as you can and then come back out of it and squeeze the glutes. Good. Remember, the leg that you are mobilizing should be the one in front. You should bring that foot all the way into front of it. Good. Keep going 10 times. Your job is when you get down to that bottom position, go as deep as you can. You want to sink, sink, sink through that hip. Think more hip, less back. Good. And come up and squeeze. Perfect. Making sure that back stays completely flat. That back's not doing the work the hip is. Rely on the hip for these bigger volume workouts. Good. And then switch sides. Do it on the other leg. Same concept again. That leg comes forward, the one that you're working on. Hinge, keeping that back as flat as you can. Come up. Good. Again, that allows you to come further into this position and hinge through the hips, looking straight up, and then you come into that snatch, right? This is the movement we want to be able to replicate over and over and over again. Not here and then get that low back. As you get tired, this back will start to round and the hips will stay high. You want to make sure you're coming down into that position as much as you can, just to make sure the movements are efficient. Okay, so now that we've opened up hip flexion, we've gotten into it, we've got to put a little resistance to make sure that we can activate the right muscles, the big power engine through this workout. Stacy has this band in between her legs like so. The band is pulling her back, forcing the hips to sink back, and as she comes up to the top, she's gonna squeeze her glutes and make sure she gets that full extension. Again, notice there is no back movement here. That back stays flat the whole time, allowing her to just move through the hips as much as possible. It's a new movement mechanic. Let the bigger muscles do all the work. Good. And squeeze, good. Keep going. Perfect. Was that the last one? Okay, now let's come back into the dumbbell snatch position. We're gonna put it all together. We've got the shoulder mobility, we've trained the resistance, we've got the hip mobility, we've trained the resistance. We'll put it together into that nice hinge position. Good. Come up and, yep, press overhead. Use that hip and drive through the hips. Do not extend through that back again. Use that hips to drive up as much as you can. Be efficient with the legs. Your shoulders are gonna get smoked in this workout, okay? You have burpees right after this. Good. Nice. So one thing we recommend is doing 2 rounds at 50% of the weight that's RX. You're gonna do 10 on each arm dumbbell snatches. After you do 10, we're going to do 4 burpees over the dumbbell, because that's the workout. And then you do that 2 rounds. No, you don't have to demo that, that's okay. All right, so that was 24.1 and a recap. Make sure you do other things really well, is sleep the night before. Don't get too anxious, this is just a workout at the end of the day. As long as you're moving methodically through the process, you're gonna prevent injuries. The tips and tricks we gave you today are tools you can start to think about while doing the exercise, so that you can make it to the next workout, because it's only 1 of 3. So make sure you do that. Thanks for having us. We're excited, have fun, and then go at it. Bye.
Hey guys, what's going on? Coach Joe here. Just finished up 24.1. This is gonna be my instant reaction video. You're gonna see these over the next few weeks, as long as with some stuff we're gonna be filming with Kevin and Stacy. We're really gonna be trying to mix up not only our Instagram, but kind of our long format stuff. So we're gonna be driving some stuff more to our YouTube channel. I know, what? We have a YouTube channel? We do, Block Crossfit. So we're gonna drive some stuff that way. So links will be in the bios, but stay tuned. A lot of great content coming, as well as these instant reaction videos. So, like I had said, 24.1 just got released. We have 21 snatches in an arm. You can start with whatever arm you want. 21 burpees, 21 snatches in the other arm, 21 burpees, and then 15s, and then 9s. So literally, I finished this a minute and a half ago. Moderate warm-up. I know we have more details, but I wanted to be able to try and get this in and get the workout out. So my instant reaction is, couple things. I did not mind the snatches being in a single arm. I didn't think that was strange at all. I actually felt really comfortable with it. I definitely thought about getting my hips down. I was nervous initially just because of the speed, maybe the volume of the snatches, that my back would kind of get a little tighter, start to blow up. That never really happened. Burpees felt good. It kind of is what it is. I'm not the best lateral burpier. For some reason, going to my left is just wacky. I don't know why. But those were what they were. I was just really trying to concentrate on breathing, collapsing to the ground, popping back, and making sure my feet were lined up with the dumbbell so that I could actually jump over the dumbbell and I wasn't behind or in front of it. Other than that, I think one of the hardest things mentally was that I wasn't moving, right? Like I wasn't transitioning. I was in one spot for the entire workout. So I just tried to focus on what was in front of me right then, whether it be the round of 15 or the round of 9, and attack that with as much intensity as I could and get that done. Other than that, I felt like I could have pushed a little harder in hindsight, now knowing. I think I could have gone a little faster on the 21 snatches in both arms. I think I could have made up some time there. I felt like the 15s were about as fast as I can go and as smooth as I could go, and I don't really know how much time I can pick up there. And then burpees for me are what they are, just flopping down, snapping back, and jumping over them. So all in all, I thought it was a great workout. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm excited to see all you guys throw down. And let's have an awesome Friday and an awesome 24.1. Thanks, guys. Deuces.